Welcome to Discovering Spain, Wildlife, Culture, and Travel Insights. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sarah. Hello, everyone.
So today we're doing a deep dive, really getting into the natural parks of the Balearic Islands. We've got some great detailed travel guides and local info lined up.
Yeah, should be good because, most people think Balearics, they think beaches, resorts.
Exactly. Ibiza, Mallorca.
Yeah.
The classic holiday spots. But we want to uncover, well, the other side.
Yeah.
The natural treasures.
Absolutely. Because there's a surprising amount of it. It's not just beaches. There's significant natural value there.
You mentioned surprising diversity.
Oh, definitely. Really diverse landscapes, different ecosystems across the islands. And get this, about 40% of the Balearics is protected land.
40%. Wow.
Yeah, something like 2,000 square kilometers. It's quite a lot.
Okay, so 40%. That's substantial. So stepping back a bit, what's the general feel of the landscape there, naturally speaking?
Well, the amazing thing is how much it varies. Even on one island, like Mallorca. You've got these, proper mountain ranges in some parts, quite dramatic, but then it shifts to much gentler sort of rolling hills, wide plains. You see olive groves, citrus trees, that kind of lush vegetation.
And I guess the Mediterranean Sea is key to all this.
Yeah.
The clear water, rugged coastlines.
Oh, absolutely. That combination, the clear sea, the sometimes quite jagged coast, the greenery, it's incredibly appealing if you love nature. A real draw for outdoor types.
So let's zoom in a bit. Mallorca, you mentioned its variety.
Yes, Mallorca really showcases this. It has a huge range of natural habitats, different ecosystems. Flora-wise, we're talking around 1,500 different species of flowers and plants.
1,500?
Roughly, yeah. And what's really striking is that 40 of those are endemic.
Endemic, meaning only found there.
Exactly. Nowhere else on Earth. It really shows you how isolation shapes life, It makes these islands biodiversity hotspots, but also quite vulnerable.
40 endemic species. That is incredible. It really underlines how unique the place is. What about the forests? I get read something about pines.
That's right. You see a lot of evergreen forest, mainly Aleppo pines. They're really well suited to the dry Mediterranean climate.
Okay.
And then there's the wildlife. The cliffs, especially the steep rocky ones, are vital. They're nesting sites for Eleonora's falcon colonies.
Yes.
The Balearics are actually the main stronghold in Iberia for this falcon. About 250 pairs nest there in the summer, mostly on Mallorca's northwest coast.
The Iberian stronghold. That says a lot. What about other islands, like Menorca? Any specific highlights there?
Definitely. Menorca, you've got a good chance of seeing birds like the red kite, maybe even the Egyptian vulture.
Oh, wow.
And something really special about Menorca, it's one of the few places you can still find the Mediterranean tortoise living wild.
The Hermann's tortoise. Testudo hermanni.
That's the one. Seeing them in their natural habitat, it's pretty special.
It's fantastic. They're still there. It's not just about the daytime either, is it? Something about the night skies.
That's right. The Balearics have actually been recognized as a starlight destination.
Meaning low light pollution. Good for stars.
Exactly. Places with really dark, clear night skies. There's the Starlight Foundation working to protect these areas and encourage astrotourism. So the Balearics are part of that, which is great. Shows a commitment beyond just the land and sea.
Right, protecting the view of the cosmos, too. Okay, so we've got this picture of incredible natural diversity. Let's talk about some specific protected areas. First up, Es Vedrá, Es Vedrá, and Ilots de Poniente Nature Reserve.
Yeah, this one's interesting because its boundaries have changed a bit since it was first protected back in 2002. Some bits, like Satalaya, were actually removed later.
Oh, okay.
So now the main focus is really on those famous islets, Es Vedrá and Es Vedrá, and the marine environment right around them.
Got it. Focused on the islets in the sea there. Next is Ses Salines de Ibiza, a Formentera Natural Park. Sounds like it bridges Ibiza and Formentera.
Precisely. It's right in that channel between them. Includes parts of both islands and the salt pans, the salines.
The salt pan.
Yeah. It's considered a really key example of Mediterranean biodiversity. And crucially, it's a major stopover and nesting spot for migrating birds.
So very important ecologically.
Hugely. It's got a mix of land and marine habitats, all with significant ecological, landscape, historical, even cultural value. So yeah, Ibiza isn't just parties. It shares this vital natural park with Formentera, a totally different vibe.
Good to remember. Okay, moving across to Mallorca again. Sa Dragonera Natural Park. Dragon Island. Sounds dramatic.
It does, doesn't it? It's an uninhabited island off Majorca's west coast, and it has quite a story.
Yeah.
Back in 1977, there were plans for tourism development there, hotels and stuff. Environmentalists actually occupied the island in protest.
Yeah, they occupied it.
Yeah, and they won. The development was stopped, and Sa Dragonera, plus the little islets nearby, Pantaloo and Isla Mediana, they've been protected ever since.
Wow, that's a powerful story of activism making a difference.
It really was. It showed how much people cared about protecting these places, kind of set a benchmark.
Okay, next one sounds much bigger. The Cabrera Archipelago Maritime Terrestrial National Park.
Yes, this one's vast, over 90,000 hectares.
90,000.
Yeah, includes the whole Cabrera Island group south of Majorca, maybe 10 nautical miles offshore, plus a huge chunk of open sea around it, especially over this underwater feature called the Emile Baudot Escarpment.
And what's special about that area? Marine life.
Absolutely prime habitat. Lots of different whales, dolphins, sea turtles use this area. It's a massive marine sanctuary, really. Managing that huge area must be quite a challenge.
Incredible scale. Then there's Cala Mondragone Natural Park. I think you mentioned tortoises earlier. Is this related?
Yes, exactly. Cala Mondragone is another key spot for the Hermann's tortoise. They've been doing reintroduction work there in the Agreeg.
Garrigue. What's that exactly?
It's that sort of low, scrubby vegetation you get in the Mediterranean. Lots of aromatic plants, thyme, rosemary.
Right.
And within that habitat, they've reintroduced hundreds of these tortoises over the years to boost the population.
That's brilliant news for the tortoises. Okay, next. Peninsula del Levant Natural Park. What kind of wildlife calls this park home?
Well, you'll find the Hermann's tortoise there, too. Also, other interesting animals like the Algerian hedgehog.
Hedgehogs.
Yeah. And the genet, which is quite elusive, the pine marten, and the Balearic green toad, another endemic species just found on these islands.
It really seems like the Balearics are just packed with unique wildlife refuges.
They really are. Each park seems to have its own special character.
Like the next one, Albufera de Mallorca Natural Park. Albufera sounds like wetland.
Spot on. Water is absolutely central to Albufera's biodiversity because there's always water, high soil moisture. Plants can grow pretty much continuously.
And the type of plants depends on.
Things like how deep the water is, how close it is to the sea, the soil type. It creates this really dynamic mosaic of vegetation, a complex wetland ecosystem.
Fascinating. And finally, there's another Albufera de Grau, but this one's on Menorca. How does it compare?
Right, Albufera de Grau on Menorca. It's also incredibly diverse. You've got the wetlands, obviously, but also farmland, woods, a varied coastline, cliffs, beaches.
A bit of everything.
Yeah, and little offshore islets, plus a big marine area. The main lagoon itself is kind of sheltered from the sea by sand dunes, and it gets fed by 3 different streams. So it's this really intricate mix of habitats all connected.
It is genuinely astonishing hearing about all this. The sheer amount of natural beauty and the variety, the different ecosystems packed into the Balearic Islands, it really does paint a picture far beyond the usual tourist trail.
It absolutely does. These natural parks offer so much for anyone wanting to explore, and they really highlight how ecologically vital the archipelago is. Definitely something to think about if you're planning a trip to Spain and want to see, its wilder side.
For sure. And if you want to explore this further, maybe look into walking or wildlife holidays in Spain. The information we discussed today came from an article by Clive Muir of Wildside Holidays.
That's right.
And he's involved in quite a few other useful resources too, things like tourist information websites for places like Cadiz, Ronda, Grazalema, the Caminito del Rey.
Really useful sites.
And also the Iberia Nature Forum online. So lots more information out there if we've sparked your interest in exploring the natural side of Spain.